Clondau Bisto, yes. Clondau Bisto is trained by Mick Goff, who's making waves from a small pool of horses in England. Clondau Keane, you might have seen win yesterday. That was a former graduate of his. And Bundoran, who we pinpointed here last season, was impressive in a bumper for Tom George. So Mick actually has two winners this weekend, two 4-year-olds, Clondau Bisto being the first one. He's by September Storm, who had a 4-year-old bumper winner the other day as well. So sorry to watch there as well. He's not the biggest horse in the world. He's a horse that could be a bumper hurdle type going forward, but there were three of them came to the last tactical manoeuvre in the centre, fell with Jamie Codd on board. He was holding every chance at the time. Ballygilbert under Derek O'Connor had every chance and had previous form, and this fellow making his debut put his head down, battled and a deserved victory. So I think a real tough horse to go and win his races, and as I say, he's not the biggest horse in the world, so I think an ideal hurdler and certainly a nice type for a bumper.
Was the horse and jockey okay, by the way, after that fall?
Was he okay? He was very okay, because he rode the 4-year-old maiden winner the next day as well.
I love it. Well done. So, Clondau Bisto. Now the next horse you've got A-rated. Now, what about A-rated?
A-rated is exactly as his name describes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are less than 5 times a year where we see performances like this, and this is absolutely one of them. He was special. He jumped out, he made all. He'd had one previous run, and Liam Kenny, who trains him, felt that he was a little bit immature, but he's certainly matured over the summer. His half-brother won a bumper a month or two ago, Mental Strength. His half-sister's Black Type, his full sister rather, is Black Type. That's our girl Lucy. He's from the family of Planet of Sound and From Dawn to Dusk, and those of you who think you might recognise the colours, they're the colours of Paddy Redmond, who had Big Zeb, who won the Champion Chase, of course.
Absolutely.
He made all. He went round in a time 14 seconds faster than the average. The second and third were well thought of and ran well. He was in an absolutely different class, and this is special, and he is A-rated, and he is to be underlined, noted, horse tracked on the ATR tracker, and anything else you might do. This is a very good horse.
I get the feeling you rather think this could be special. I've put
he is.
a circle. If you say that, I'll do for me. We're back to the Clondaus. Clondau Cracker.
Clondau Cracker, back to Mick Goff again and young Shane Fitzgerald. He's only ridden 2 winners before this season. One was Bundoran, who's won his bumper since, and the other one was Clondau Keane, who's won. So Shane's a lucky omen, and he's had 2 4-year-old winners last weekend, so he's a young fella to watch. This fella's by Court Cave, a bigger, scopier horse than Clondau Bisto. This was another smart race now. The first 2 drew 15 lengths clear. The runner-up is a Balco horse of Brian Hamilton's, and we saw Brian producing back to Clermont, who sold well last week. He won at Lock'n'More, and this horse they thought plenty of, the runner-up, the Balco horse of Brian Hamilton. So for Clondau Cracker to come out and beat him, the first 2 to draw 15 lengths clear, I think this is a very, very nice 4-year-old with a big, big future, and I think Mick Goff has another Bundoran type on his hands, a horse that could go and win his bumper and go on to better things.
Clondau Cracker could be a bit of a cracker. Let's move on, because you've given us quite a few horses this week. Tilly's Delight. What delighted you about Tilly?
Well, Tilly's Delight's a slightly different profile, if you like. She's the first Irish point-to-point winner for Verglas, and she's out of a Marjou mare who won 3 times on the flat, once as a 2-year-old and twice as a 3-year-old. So really? She had a lot of speed, and she quickened up impressively. Patrick Doyle owns and trains her. He produced her Mangan before to be a nice type and win his share of races. She'd run well before unseating at Curraheen on her debut in what looked a good maiden, but she's quickened up and gone clear here. Now the likability factor, I suppose, is that her pedigree says she's all speed, but she stayed and galloped right through the line here at Bulltest, so she has a nice mix, and if she turned up in a bumper, there's plenty of speed, but she'll stay in time when she needs to. So interesting but different, but I think she's a real nice mare. Just to point out, this particular maiden, Blue Sea Cracker, who won the Irish Grand National, Ask Anna, or Victoria, they've all come from this maiden, Shop DJ. It is a source of very smart mares, and we had a busy weekend, which is why there are 6 4-year-olds this weekend. Yeah,
they're all 4-year-olds that we're talking about. Let's move on to a horse called Lady London. What about Lady London?
Lady London, trained by Dennis Hogan, ran a cracker first time out in a good geldings maiden. She finished 5th, and this was her 2nd run. I think she's quite a bit of speed as well, and I think she found the stamina tested her a little bit, and she idled in front. So it looks like coming to the last she's idling and maybe needing a little bit of company, but when she's joined and headed, she picks up again and finds plenty. She's a real tough mare by Beneficial out of a Glacial Storm mare, and Dennis Hogan's an excellent trainer. I've no doubt this is a mare I could see getting a little bit of black type and been a nice Beneficial brood mare in years to come, because she's got speed. We saw that the last day, and she held out for stamina here, and she saved a little bit, so she'll be fine. She'll win her share of races.
And she's got a big heart. She proved that as well. Spot on.
Exactly.
Crank 'em Up. I love this name. Crank 'em Up.
Crank 'em Up.
Yeah, come on.
Colin Motherway, owned by his wife Linda Motherway, a Royal Anthem horse out of an old Vic mare. Now, Colin produced Dan Andy to win a couple of years ago, and this I think was his first ride of the autumn. Colin's gone down the training route now, and he's put in his new gallop, and a real good horseman, Colin. He's trained he's ridden a lot of winners, and I've no doubt he'll train plenty. There were 7 or 8 together coming to the second last, and this fella really found a turn of foot jumping the last and quickening up in the red colours. He's from the family of Monksland, Indian Scout, Kassane. It's a good hardy family, and as I say, an old Vic mare, and he quickened up well. So I think Colin has a real nice type in his hands here.
I tell you what, I was most impressed with that. Crank 'em Up. That's getting a circle as well. And what about Robbie Rowe? Have I pronounced it right?
Robin Rowe, yes. Robin Rowe cost 52,000 out of the Land Rover sales, so he's a nice model, nice individual. He's out of a mare that won twice, Talk to the Tail for Tim Doyle. I think they quickened up plenty early in this race. The King's Theatre of John Nallins was left in front, and this fellow went to the races with him, and they really had a good old battle up the straight to the last fence, and the horse that looks like he's set for third stays on again. But these two horses really went at it, and I think they're two high-class horses, and I'm not taking away from the Katub, who got into contention as well. He's tough, but this fella, to be fair, found that little bit more, pulled away going to the line. Timmy Hyde trains him, and he doesn't deal in anything other than nice types of horses and nice individuals, and this fella's gone and proven himself as well. So I think you have a very high class sort here as well. I think along with A-Rated, this fella stands out a little bit better than the rest.
Richard, what's happening in the point-to-point world in Ireland this weekend?
We've 2 meetings this weekend. We've a new course. The Kilmagannies unveil a new course. Always nice to see one in Mainstown, which is right beside Craig, where their course was last year. Supposed to be a nice track with good ground. They get underway at 12 o'clock, and at 11:30 on Sunday, Ballindennisk, which is a tough track. John Call won his maiden there. They get underway, as I say, at 11:30.
And of all the horses we've talked about, all